There are many studies that demonstrate that our relationship with our finances are built from an incredibly young age. As much as we like to think that we are rational human beings and we have full control over our decisions, the reality of it is, however, is that by the time we turn 7, the majority of our core fundamental values have been established. And this in turn can have big impacts on our future financial positions, more than we would like to admit to. As I've gone through my financial journey and my career over the years, I have been exposed to multiple people that have caused me to question what would be a traditional way of thinking about money. So that's why in this video, I thought it would be interesting for me to share with you 4 of those core beliefs I've had and how I changed them. The first of those beliefs being the know-it-all mindset. This is something that I have had to work very hard at. I am very much a perfectionist and I like to make sure that I know every single nitty-gritty detail before jumping into a project of some kind. But what I came to learn over the years really was that perfectionism can hinder your progress. If you spend all of your time focusing on trying to make something perfect or planning out every single detail of a project, you are never going to get started, and you can slip into what is known as analysis paralysis. I used to get myself into this position quite a lot, particularly earlier on in my career, when most of the projects or pieces of work that I was working on were very new to me. I wanted to make sure that I was delivering the best piece of work I possibly could. Because I wasn't giving myself much structure around the way that I was working, I was ending up spending so much more time working on these projects than I needed to be. And they probably took me 2 to 3 times longer than they should have done. So one thing that I'm incredibly strict on now is having very specific time periods that I allocate to each stage of my project. So I have a set amount of time that I am spending in the planning and preparation phase, and once that time is up, I am moving on to the next phase, regardless of how comfortable or uncomfortable I am. The benefit of this is that firstly, you are using your time more productively, and secondly, you're more focused as a result because you know you have a set amount of time in order to do your planning and preparation. This also helped me to adopt a learn as I go mentality because I am a person that learns from doing, and if you fail, you'll learn from it. Failures are an integral part of learning and growing, and providing you take them on board and take them as an educational opportunity as opposed to something negative, you will see a better output and a better result. The next belief is having a victim's mentality. Now, I have always been someone that has been incredibly critical of my achievements, where I'm at in my life, guilty of comparing myself to others too. And I would often find myself in the trap of thinking that I just wasn't good enough and I couldn't possibly do something that that person is doing. But the problem with this way of thinking and essentially upwards comparison, if you're choosing to interpret it in a negative way, it can in turn have a negative effect on you. So I started to realize this trend in how I was thinking and how I was interpreting situations, and realized that I needed to make a change from it. So instead of thinking I'm not good enough for that, I instead would think I am not good enough for that yet, because it's very likely that the person you are comparing yourself to hasn't always been good at what they're doing. So several years ago, when I took a position at Selfridges, which is a luxury department store in the UK, I was heading up their online menswear division, which was an incredible opportunity, but a big step from where I had previously been. And I remember looking around and thinking how much better everyone else was than me in their respective roles. And naturally that knocked my confidence. But I made a conscious effort and focus to switch that perception into I'm not as good as them yet. And I used them as motivation in order to propel me into being as good as them, being better than them, and being able to be proud of the things that I was achieving. It is so important, in my opinion, that we recognize these self-limiting beliefs, because even though they might seem small and relatively insignificant in the grand scheme of things, those small thoughts and perceptions will gradually build over time and have a more substantial impact in the way that you behave and the way that you think about things. If you find yourself in a moment where you are feeling negative about something, I encourage you to challenge those thoughts. Write down all of the thoughts you are feeling at that moment in time, and then go back and challenge those thoughts. Are they rational? Do they make sense? Is it something that you can change? The answer is you can probably make a difference, but you're the one that has to do it. The next belief that I had was that more hours means more money. And many people, including myself when I was younger, believed that that was the only way in which they could make money. But in fact, I came to learn that having this mindset really does limit your income potential. A quote that I absolutely love from Naval Ravikant is, "Earn money with your mind, not your time," which, if you are able to leverage this, unlocks limitless potential in terms of earning money. And don't get me wrong, I am not the type of person that it is going to suggest that you go and quit your 9-to-5 job and focus primarily on building your wealth and your income stream in a way such as this. But how I am choosing to embrace this is by keeping my 9-to-5 for now and then working on my side hustles adjacently to that. One of the key things around breaking the mindset of trading your time for money is really about learning how to leverage your time. You want to be focusing your time on actions and initiatives that are going to have a multiplying effect. So things that may require you to have some initial upfront investment, but ultimately can get to a point where they are working passively for you. Also, a key element to consider is scalability. What is something that you can scale without it necessarily needing the proportional amount of investment in order to do so? And then finally, automation. What tools can you leverage in order to automate things that you are doing in your life to then free up your time to focus on something else? And the final belief is comparing yourself to the competition. It is so easy for us as humans to simply just follow the crowd. It is seen as a safe place to be. You're surrounded by like-minded people, which also in turn makes you feel very comfortable. But then it means that you will also consistently in a cycle of comparison because you are amongst very similar people targeting very similar things, and you in turn can end up getting stuck in a cycle of comparison and how you can beat your competitors. But your goal shouldn't be to beat your competitors. It should be to escape them altogether. If you get sucked into the compare and despair trap, you typically will see a negative emotional impact, which can affect your self-esteem, your mental health, and even your financial decisions. So instead of getting fixated on all of those people over there, the best thing that you can do is focus on yourself and your unique value proposition. For me, Sarah Blakely, who is the founder of Spanx, is an amazing example of this. She chose to escape the competition, and regardless of the amount of no's and setbacks that she had, she continued to pursue and has since built a multi-billion-dollar company from an initial $5,000 investment. And then after she had had her initial success, so many people started jumping on the bandwagon, trying to copy what she had done and getting themselves stuck in the competition trap. And really what they should have been doing is learning from her successes and taking it to the next level. This is the way that I have tried to approach the way in which I tackle my business ventures. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You need to take the best bits of it and then add your unique value proposition on top to separate you from the rest. And that is exactly what I did with my Amazon business, and is exactly what I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel as well. I recognize that there are some amazing YouTubers out there all talking about very similar things to me, but what I am trying to do is bring that valued content, bring that valued insight with my experience sprinkled on top as well. By me being able to shift and change those 4 beliefs that I originally had into something that is more productive and positive, I've seen benefits in both my productivity and my success in the ventures that I have taken on. And I hope that they help you on your journey as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.